course, we'd like to welcome everyone to this very historic press conference. This is about the EASL tip-off. Already one game has been played by a PBA team, and this is also in conjunction with the PBA. So we are excited. We are very honored that Commissioner of the PBA, Willie Marshall, is with us this afternoon, as well as the EASL CEO, Matt Bayer, along with, as I mentioned, Mr. Paulo Trillo of Meralco and Sandy Arespacochaga of TNT. And we welcome everyone from media, and also our friends from EASL are also here to lend support and whatever information we might need from the ground staff. Everyone's here. We're all excited about the coming November 1st game between the Chiba Jets, still undefeated in the EASL, and TNT that will be held in Santa Rosa. But more details on that, and I think there are some very exciting details to come from Matt Bayer about that game on November 1st. But before anything else, may we ask firstly Matt Bayer for his opening remarks, the CEO of EASL. Matt?
Thank you very much, Kenito. Com, it's great to see you. It's been too long. And thank you for the coaches, Paulo and Sandy here. Great to virtually meet you. I can't wait to shake your hands in real life soon. Thank you for the media to be here today. And great to see my colleagues. Much love to EASL fam here on the screen. And I just want to say it's super excited to finally be starting our home and away format. We really have seen some great games so far. We've had 4 out of our 28 games played of the season, and it's going great. I think one of the games I saw with Chiba Jets and Fubon Braves was probably one of the most exciting basketball games that I've seen, period, in my recent history. And we have so many great memories from last season in the with the Bay Area Dragons and playing in that 7-game final series, and really excited to recreate that atmosphere and that excitement, bringing top international opponents into play against PBA teams in EASL. So I want to say thank you for Willie and the PBA support. Thank you for the participation of TNT and Meralco, and thank you for all the friends from the media for taking interest in us. And let's just have an awesome season and keep creating history. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. And now may we ask our dear PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall for his opening remarks. Come, Willie?
Yes, good afternoon to all. The PBA is so excited with EASL coming here playing on November 1 in Santa Rosa. So it's a basketball crazy country here. So the fans are excited, the team is excited, and most especially the PBA. We will continue to support EASL with Mr. Matt Bayer here, and see you at the games.
Thank you, Willie. And now we'd like to call on the team manager of Meralco for his opening remarks, Mr. Paulo Trillo.
Thank you, Kenito. Hi, hello everyone. Good afternoon. I've met most of you, so I just want to say again that we're very excited to be part of the EASL for the first time. Of course, you know, a lot of challenges coming up. We obviously know that the competition is very strong, but we're, like I said, we're excited to represent Meralco, the PBA, and the Philippines in the EASL. We've been preparing for the upcoming conference and the EASL at the same time. So we have our 2 imports in town, and again, just we're preparing for both leagues coming up.
Okay, we'll ask Mr. Trillo a little bit later on to identify those 2 imports who will be playing in the EASL. One of them, of course, will be playing in the PBA Commissioner's Cup to open on November 5th. And now we'd like to call on the assistant coach of TNT, Mr. Sandy Arespacochaga. Sandy?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Well, we already played one game, and unfortunately we lost that game. But we're looking forward to the rematch on November 1. We're just like with Meralco, we're preparing for the upcoming PBA conference, but we've also been we prepared already for our first game. Hopefully, for our rematch against Chiba Jets, will be in better shape. And we've got two key players back for us that have been practicing. We got Ronde Hollis Jefferson joined us for the first game, but he had no practice. He came from the Asian Games and immediately played. So right now I think we're in better shape. Of course, Calvin Oftana also missed the first game, so he's back for us for the second game. So we're looking forward to the rematch against Chiba Jets.
Okay, and talking about the rematch, Sandy, Matt, what are the preparations like for the November 1st game in Santa Rosa?
So these are the games this season. Hope everyone can take a screenshot and a photo of this, and we can see you live at the games. And these are the ones that are happening here in the Philippines. And we'll also be unveiling what are the other venues for the games that are TBD at this stage. But the whole EASL team is really behind making these games memorable with the support of the PBA and the participating teams. Can you go to the next slide too? And then we have some really exciting away games, and would really love to see our friends from Philippine media at those games taking place between November 15 and February 7th. And it's really exciting that we have this crazy double header on November 15th. That's going to be like a giant Philippine basketball party happening in Japan and Taiwan. So really encourage everyone to watch it. We're broadcast on Signal. We also have the non-PBA games, which also feature Philippine players broadcasting, streaming live on our EASL Facebook. So please tune in, and you're always welcome as our guests at any EASL game. And we would love to share a meal and just talk about basketball and enjoy the experience with you. So here's a visual of the schedule for you.
Yeah, so it's 6 games for each team, 3 home and 3 and away.
That's correct.
Yeah. And outside of these, of course, we have Filipino players playing for other teams. For the Seoul SK Knights, Juan Gomez de Leaño is playing for that team. And then for the Rukyu Golden Kings, Carl Tamayo is playing for that team. And for Anyang, it's Renza Bando. So those 3 players are Filipinos who are playing for different teams. Also for the Fubon Braves, it'll be Cedric Bearfield, who's a Phil-Am, playing for that team. And for the New Taipei Kings, Jeremy Lin is playing for that team. With the first experience of TNT in this home and away format, playing against Chiba in Japan, and also seeing what Chiba did in its second game, winning in overtime. In the game against TNT, the first game, Togashi was held to 2 points. But against Fubon in the second game, Togashi exploded for 38. Coach Sandy, what are your preparations in trying to tone down Togashi when TNT plays Chiba again in Santa Rosa on November 1st?
Yeah, when we first played them, of course, we're very well aware of his capabilities and his ability to score and explode, get 30 points, how many threes. So he was really a big big target defensively for us. We had the defensive schemes around him, and unfortunately, it was the other players who hurt us, who scored a lot of points. Headed into our game, of course, we'd like to make sure that we keep him again as much as possible, below his averages. But at the same time, we'd like to make sure that we play better team defense as a whole.
Coach Sandy, in that game against Chiba, you missed, I counted about 8 players. You mentioned that Calvin Oftana will be playing in the rematch. Are there other players whom you're intending to play who didn't play in the first game against Chiba? Maybe Galinato, is he going to be playing? Maybe Joel Panfarada? Can you give us an idea of some of the new players who will be playing for TNT against Chiba on November 1st?
Yes, we're hoping that Henry Galinato would be. He's on the right track. When we drafted him, he wasn't in game shape already, and I think Jewel Ponferrada's papers didn't make it, so he wasn't part of the team. But the two are on. Jewel has no problems. Henry's on track to play on our rematch on November 1.
Okay. Any other players who will be activated for this game?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned Calvin Oftana already. Of course, we would make that decision as the game. That maybe the day before the game or the night before the game, as to the final roster that will suit up and play. But we just concluded a training camp in Inspire in Laguna, and I think we're a big point of emphasis for us was getting in better shape.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, we have actually both imports just got in a few days ago. So our reinforcement for the PBA is Suleiman Braimo. We'll be together with Prince Ibe, who's also going to be our second import for the EASL. Just like Coach Andy said, I think the challenge really is just trying to get in better shape. We obviously the other teams in the EASL are already have had games in their own respective seasons, so they're in that competition shape already. We're going to be getting into that as we get to our first game on November 15. So we're trying to just get to know our imports, prepare as hard as we can. You mentioned earlier the first team we play in against Raikyu Golden Kings. They have Carl Tamayo, but interesting is their import, Alan Durham. We probably know him better than we do our own imports. So he was also a resident import for us for some time, many years back. And I think that'll be interesting, just being matched up against them in our first game. I guess also the adjustment of playing certain rules in our league, and then a few days later trying to adjust to those rules.
But what about your rookie, Brandon Bates? Has he been practicing? And do you think he'll be okay to play against Rookie in their EASL debut?
Well, Brandon Bates he's been joining us regularly in practices. Obviously, again, part of our lineup. But in the EASL, we have the 2 imports plus 10 locals. And as of now, we have not named our final lineup for the locals. So, but he's been coming along okay. I mean, in practice, he's a rookie, and we're just letting him get used to what we do on the court. He's just trying to learn our system right now, and again, get in better shape.
Matt, are you going to allow any member of media to ride the Carabao, which is going to be outside the stadium?
I mean, I think we were actually planning on wrestling matches with it. So anyone who's brave enough to jump in, if Com does it, I will.
Okay.
Matt, you're choppy.
Hi, Matt. Congratulations. Love the idea of top teams in Asia playing against each other, it can only do better and, good for brand of basketball in our region. First of all, I wanted to ask for the November 1st game, for how would people be able to purchase tickets for that game in Santa Rosa?
I'm gonna give the floor to our head of Philippines, Mr. Banjo Albano. Tell him how we do this.
Hi, Diane. So our ticketing partner is Ticketmax. So on our socials, we actually have the link, but we could gladly share it with you. I know that Kevin and our media team has also sent out releases on this matter. And again, on November 1st, fans can also come in and buy tickets at the gate. But as early as now, they could go to Ticketmax directly and buy their tickets.
Okay, thank you. If it's okay to ask a question to the two coaches, obviously TNT has had the experience of playing against in Japan, and the Meralco is going to start their games. I wanted to ask TNT coach first, Sandy, how do you prepare for these games, since you're having to play the PBA simultaneously? It's a couple of differences in the rules and all that. So how do you manage the workouts to prepare for both leagues?
With the rules, there's some just slight changes. Like Com said, I think the adjustment hasn't been difficult for us. But as mentioned already, the minutes, instead of a 48-minute game, it's 40 minutes. So that's a bit of a change, but not a big one also. I think what was a bit challenging for us was when the PBA moved the opening of the schedule, so that the timing, like Sir Paulo said earlier, like the other teams more or less coincide. Like Chiba Jets, the B League just started when more or less around the same time that we played them. So that was a bit of a adjustment for us. I think coming into our second game, we're in better shape already.
Thanks. And Coach Paulo, how do you think your playing in the EASL is going to impact your performance in the PBA?
Hi, Dan. Yes.
Hi.
Well, it basically is just it's similar to just adding more games in our regular season and trying to prepare for them in certain ways, no? Obviously we'll have to travel, which is something we do in the PBA as well, but to the provinces. So this is just like maybe a longer trip to take. When we get there, of course, acclimatize a bit, maybe we'll be a little bit out of our comfort zone, but because it's a home and away format, all teams have to go through this. Even the other teams we're playing are also playing in their respective seasons as well. So it's all teams have to deal with it. In terms of how it will affect our games, it's just really having to insert the second import. I think that's a big difference, no? Because the teams from the other countries have those imports playing regularly in their season, whereas in our case we have one import and the other import joins us for one game at a time. So there's a little bit of an adjustment there, getting him to fit in with what we're doing. And then preparation wise, these are teams that we're not familiar with as much as the PBA teams. So that is a big adjustment. The style of play is different. I know that the rules are, things we can adjust to, but again, the way it may be called slightly different in terms of the physicality and maybe the style of play. So those are things that along the way we'll have to learn and adjust to. But again, all teams are dealing with the same factors.
Napakaganda na sumuporta kayo dito sa EASL, allowing the PBA teams to participate kahit kailangan magtrabaho kayo extra, di ba, to be able to accommodate. Kunyari, may away games yung Meralco tsaka yung TNT, no? So I guess pa ahead of schedule ay parang malalaman nyo na, i-adjust nyo yung schedule nyo. And secondly, well, makakapunta ba kayo sa ilang games ang EASL abroad?
Yeah, one, we adjust the schedules. Pag may game ang PBA teams, 1 week. They won't play with the PBA for 1 whole week.
1 week.
Okay, yeah. Secondly,
Okay.
if I'm invited by Mr. Matt Bayer, I might go. So
Yung impact ng Philippines performance sa Asian Games, how do you think this will affect yung participation natin, hindi lang sa EASL, but yung sa games natin sa PBA?
malaking impact. Malaking impact sa atin yung we won the Asian Games.
Matt, if I could just ask like a closing statement from you regarding the growing partnership between EASL and the PBA, and the future for the EASL, because we understand that mainland China is knocking on the door. They want to join. Is expansion something that we can look at after this season? Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will keep expanding. We're mainland China, further expansion into Southeast Asia, Oceania. We're growing, and we already have with the geographies covered, 1/3 of the world's population. I think that we'll be happy once we get half of the world in EASL. So let's keep going, guys.
Okay, and then the growing partnership between EASL and PBA?
Yes. I mean, it feels already like you know, we're in a marriage and we've had 2 or 3 kids. So I think you know, we're ready for some more kids, and you know, to be sending those kids to school and you know, eventually to university and for their own families. So you know, we're really in this in a very fruitful relationship with the PBA, and I couldn't be happier with it.
Well, thank you very much, Matt, and thank you guys for joining this press conference. And I hope during the season, Matt, we can still have access to you and your staff, as well as Commissioner Willie, to give us updates on how the EASL season is coming along.